Hello, and in today's video I'll be taking you through the steps I go through when I henna my grey hair. But before I do, I'd like to say a big thank you to my new subscribers, and if you're new here, welcome. Hello, this is Love Those Locks, the channel where I help you care for your hair, especially for the lady of a certain age. So today I'm going to go over all of the items and the ingredients that you need to make a henna paste for dyeing your hair. So first things first, make sure you remove all jewellery because any metal will react with the henna and tarnish it. So take off all jewellery. You will need some shea butter, which you'll apply to your hairline and to the tops of your ears just to protect them during the dyeing process. You'll also need some protective gloves just to make sure that you don't stain your fingers because henna does stain. You'll also need a spoon for measuring out, a tablespoon for measuring out the olive oil, and I use extra virgin olive oil. You'll also need the henna powder. Now this powder I've been using for 3 years and it's a very good brand and I trust it. So you'll need to get some of that and have a measuring cup so that you can measure out the henna. To mix the henna, you will need some water and then some coffee that you've put into some hot water. So in here I have 2 teaspoons of granulated coffee to make the mixture. You'll also need a brush to apply the henna to your hair and scalp, and you'll need a mixing bowl. So here I have a glass bowl. You can use a ceramic bowl, but do not use a metal bowl. Now if you're mixing a smaller amount of henna, a little bowl like this is very useful. It's quite a nice handy size to hold. And for mixing up the henna, I have this old brush that I use, as you can see from the bristles, and it's very good for breaking down the henna lumps when you're trying to mix the mixture. So this is something useful to have. You will also need an old towel, so make sure you have one of those to hand to protect your neck and your clothes, and also have an old t-shirt to protect yourself. So finally, you will then need to, once you've put the henna on your hair, keep it moist until the point where you want to wash it off. And to do that, you'll need some cling film, Saran wrap, and this you'll wrap around your head, or your hair rather, to ensure that you keep the henna moist. So these are all of the items. I'll run through them again. Some olive oil, protective gloves, shea butter, measuring spoon, 1 tablespoon measuring, henna powder, a measuring cup, some water, a mixing bowl, application brush, a mixing brush, but you can use the application brush to mix, and some coffee. And I use the coffee specifically to darken the henna, just to reduce some of the red. So these are all of the items that you need. So here we are mixing the henna. As you can see, I haven't measured it, but ideally if you start with a cup of henna and then you can take it from there, start with a cup and then add liquid, but add it gradually, because if you add too much liquid and it's too watery, then you won't have the right consistency. So we've moved the recording on a bit to a batter-like consistency, so you obtain that by gradually adding water and using your mixing spoon or mixing brush and just mixing the batter as you add the water gradually, and the coffee if you're using coffee in your mixture. Once you've got the right consistency, then you want to cover the henna so that the dye can be released, and you'd need to leave it for 8 to 24 hours. Off screen I added the olive oil because I forgot to add it, so that's 2 tablespoons of olive oil that I added. So here I am applying the henna, starting off with some shea butter around the hairline and the tops of the ears. So I'm doing this just to protect my skin. And also don't forget to do a patch test if this is the very first time you're using henna or you're changing brands of henna. And after doing your patch test, wait for 24 hours just to check for any signs of swelling or itchiness or other irritation. And one word of warning, do steer clear of black henna. It may well be that you would like to have your hair be a black colour by the time you've finished applying the henna, and there is indigo that you can use after you've applied the henna, which I won't go into here because I don't use indigo. I'm quite happy with the reddish hue of the henna, but indigo will then restore your hair colour back to its natural colour that you prefer. So here we are, full coverage. I concentrate mostly on the front and the middle and the hairline because that's where my greys live, and then wrap it in cling film firmly and just make sure you cover it, wrap it around a few times, secure it, make sure it's secured around your ears and hairline, and maybe just give yourself a little breathing hole around your ears for comfort, and then wrap it, keep it warm and moist so it doesn't dry out. If you're covering greys, I'd also recommend that you do a strand test on your grey hair just to check that the colour that you get is what you like. So here I am taking off the cling film or Saran wrap. That's been on for 5 hours. I tend to leave my henna on for 4 to 5 hours, and then I proceed to rinsing. You want to make sure that you keep that cling film on for that period of time to keep the henna moist. You'll notice as I'm rinsing here that the henna is coming out, so just rinse with warm water initially until it runs clear. So this will take a while because I've done a full head coverage. Once you've done that, you can see it's run clear. At this point, I then add my shampoo, which I dilute with water just to make it easier to work through my Sisterlocks. So then work the shampoo through, the diluted shampoo mixture, choose a shampoo of your choice, work that through, and you'll begin to see that some more henna will come out. So just apply all over and rub it in. And then once you've got full coverage, as you can see, we've got spots of henna coming out. But once you've got your hair fully covered in the shampoo mixture, which is shampoo and water, then rinse again. Just as an extra measure, I do 2 lots of shampooing just to make sure I get out all of the henna, because henna can be quite drying and I want to make sure I don't leave any henna behind. So here I am again, another round of shampoo. That's it, all done, all rinsed out, the water has run clear, all of the henna is out, and I'm now going to wrap my hair with a black towel because I don't want any fluff or lint attaching to my Sisterlocks. So here I am, all done and wrapped up. And here we are, that's the end product. So freshly applied henna, just rinsed out, and you can see where it's adhered to the grey hair, and it will take a few days to develop fully, but this just gives you an idea initially of what it looks like straight after rinsing out the henna. And I leave it to dry naturally. So here we are, this is a week later where the henna has had a chance to sit and do its thing, and this is the end product. As you see, I don't have bright red hues because I applied the coffee to darken that reddish orange hue, and so this is what it looks like. Thank you for watching my video. Now over to you. Have you considered using henna to cover your hair or to cover grey hairs? Please share your comments below. Please also like, share and subscribe, and remember to hit the notifications bell so that you receive a notification each time I share a video. Thank you. Yeah, finished? Yeah. Have you considered using greys on your hair? What?